Greetings, Fantasy League. It's pretty sad that the 2013 season has finally come to an end. But there's a little consolation for you. Not only do we have a very Chode Cup Christmas coming up on Friday, but the best news of all is that Rookies Rogue Raccoons are your champions for the 2013 season, putting myself at 2 championships overall, tied with Mr. Joe Petavolano. While looking up some league history, I'd like to congratulate John on getting to his first ever playoff spot and Chode Cup final. Now here's some good trivia for you. 3 teams have advanced to the final 3 times. Myself, T-Bone, and Joe Ped. Hoffman and Troy have both been to the final twice. Of myself, Ped, Tony, Troy, and Hoffman, John is the first team besides us 5 to ever make it to the Chode Cup. So, Landon, Coppola, Dirt, and Vade, are you guys even trying to win? Come on. You are way over your head, guys. Anyway, like a true sportsman, I defeated John 160-90 in the largest final margin of victory of league history. What was the second highest margin of victory besides 70 points? Oh, that was 37 points set in 2010 when I beat the ever-living dog shit out of Tony. Don't mess with me when I'm in. Yeah. Anyway, the matchup that you all really care about, the Coach Ron Whistle of Despair matchup for the last place team, squared off Troy and Hoffmeister. Troy soundly defeated him 139-126. So, congratulations on being the worst team in the league, Hoffmeister, despite scoring the second amount of points. I guess that Sage DeRosa curse is just never gonna leave you, huh? Well, there's always next year, I guess, to redeem yourself. Maybe you are in Sage's paths will cross. Who knows? Life is a mystery. I'd like to go over some of the storylines of 2013. You know, nostalgia over the past 4 months. Despite being on probation, our own Landon I'll fucking fight you, K. Fwedwick, had the best record in the league at 12-2. So, good for you, Falcatron. I knew you had it in you the whole time. But, in case you weren't aware, Tony defeated him in the first round of the playoffs. So, John, excuse me. But, speaking of T-Bone and his Gucci's, he came out of nowhere in the second half of the season, winning 6 games in a row to become the first team in his division at 9-5. Good for you, T-Bone. But all good things must come to an end. Meanwhile, Dirt McGirt at mid-season was sitting pretty well, but unfortunately really stumbled through the stretch and missed the playoffs. Ouch, Dirt. You really had it in you. You know, you had that handspring going, you were in the air, and you just couldn't stick it. Somewhere Brandon is looking on with disappointment, knowing that you have the potential to be the best. Well, hit the showers, buddy. Meanwhile, our boy Hoffmeister, the winner of the Whistle of Despair, made a shitload of trades all over the place this season, but still got in last place, so... I mean, I'm no logician, but I think that means if you trade a lot, you come in last place. Maybe, I don't know, I did 2 trades, so... I'm making this up as I go. Meanwhile, Jonathan Tonesy has his first ever playoff bid and makes it all the way to the championship, so good for you, John. Take this season as a moral victory, because you're not taking the Chode Cup home. And meanwhile, as with every season, Matt Vader got in way over his head. But, you know, that happens sometimes. But, hey, go Hofstra Eagles. I don't know what their mascot is. Does anyone? Reply below. Next order of business. Dues for a very Chode Cup Christmas. With the cost of the keg and the SAT registration fee, if we're going to proceed with it, and also the additions to the Chode Cup, if you do not recall, the plaques had filled out the front side, and so I brought the Chode Cup to a trophy store where we are getting 24 more plaques put on. So the Chode Cup will be ready until the year 2037. So, pay it now, and then we don't have to worry about it until we're 47 years old. So that's cool. All these come out to $40 per team. So when you come to the Chode Cup Christmas party, please bring $40. If you cannot attend, please find a way to make the money to me, preferably before January 4th, before I leave. Otherwise, please get in contact with me about payments. Fuckers, probably never gonna pay me. Now I'd like to change gears once again, and as your reigning champion and league commissioner, I'd just like to thank a couple people. Jamal Charles and LaShawn McCoy carried me, the number 1 and number 2 fantasy running backs. I drafted very well. It was so choice, if I'm going to quote my idol Ferris Bueller, and Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago. I'd like to welcome aboard to the Raccoons Matt Stafford as of Week 7 with a trade from John, and Tony Gonzalez as of Week 10 with a trade from Troy. They solidified my positions at the quarterback and tight end position respectively, and they complemented the rest of my outfit very well. I'm glad to have given them a Chode Cup champion for them to bring home to their families. I'm sure they are very grateful. I'd also like to thank Demaryius Thomas for reining in touchdowns and catches all year. Thank you, Peyton Manning, for being good at that whole football thing. And Andrew Luck has been my starting quarterback for a majority of the season, except his bye week. He's been a starter. And we've had a bit of a love-hate relationship, but in the end, he served me fairly well. Andrew, I'm glad that you can go home proud that you are also a Chode Cup champion. I'd also like to thank Matt Prater for being a very solid kicker. Once again, that Denver offense is a very good thing to be a part of fantasy-wise. And that 64-yarder, you broke the record, so I'm sure you'll have the football that you broke the 64-yard record with in your den or your man cave or whatever you call it, Matthew Prater. You'll have it right here, and then you have your Chode Cup champion right here, of relatively equal value, I would think. I'll write you a letter and we'll talk about it. Finally, I'd like to address some of the shortfalls of my team. Victor Cruz, what are you doing? You had a stellar Week 1 and Week 2, and then you just pooped yourself for the rest of the year. I don't even know why I started you. Jordy Nelson, keep it up, white boy. Even with Aaron Rodgers out, you're still pretty good. So, Jordy, I'll kiss you. I don't care. And I'd also like to thank Fred Jackson for being the least sexy running back that I started all season. And he slowly chugged along and churned out points. So, Fred, this one's to you. I'm glad that you can also bring a Chode Cup back to Buffalo. Now, we've all had fun, but like all things, they must come to an end. This video will come to an end. This fantasy season has come to an end. So wipe away your tears, and I will see you at a very Chode Cup Christmas come Friday. Bring your ugliest sweater and your $40 fucking dollars, and we'll have a good time. For the last time this season, this is your league manager. Signing out, suckers.